Multimedia is becoming more and more prevalent through our use of everyday life, through work, school, and communicating with others. There are, however, rules that people should follow when composing multimedia that I will outline in this video. The first rule is that the multimedia should enhance the presentation. By this, I mean that the multimedia should provide another way for the viewer to look at it rather than just reading text. This will help the main idea to get across. For example, if I created a multimedia presentation on ways to be a good teammate, instead of just typing the ways out, I can also provide pictures and videos and examples of how that can be done, which will help the viewer be able to visualize it. So the multimedia can help enhance a presentation, but it should only be used if it can enhance a presentation, and it must enhance a presentation. That is rule number 1. Rule number 2, multimedia must not overwhelm. For rule number 2, I mean that you should not use too much multimedia, because at that point it will not make the viewer remember anything more than they did without the multimedia. In high school, I sat through presentations where people would put a PowerPoint presentation and the pictures would be on screen, but they would have like 25 pictures, and it would just be really overwhelming for the viewer to look at, and in that case, they would not be able to get anything out of it more than not seeing any pictures. Rule number 3, multimedia must not be difficult to operate. I know we've all been sitting on our laptops or phones and had trouble opening a video or picture, and at that point you do not get anything out of it easier. So a must when composing multimedia is that the multimedia must operate smoothly and without the viewer having any trouble, because if it does not, then they will have trouble seeing the point of including the multimedia, which at that point it's better to leave it out. So the multimedia must be easy to operate so the viewer can really get the full effect. Rule number 4, multimedia must not be distracting. By this I mean don't just use multimedia to use multimedia, because that can get the viewer off topic and then not want to keep engaging in your topic. So the rule not be distracting is to make sure the viewer stays engaged throughout. And finally, rule number 5, the multimedia must help support the main idea. Multimedia must help to support the main idea and help the viewer to understand it more, because the multimedia should put a capstone on the main idea and really make the viewer easily be able to figure out what the main idea is without having to read between the lines of the text. The multimedia just provides an easy way for the viewer to see it. I really support multimedia, and I would recommend anyone using it in presentations or in everyday life. However, these 5 rules should be followed if thinking about using a multimedia to help your viewer most easily be able to interpret your main idea throughout. Thank you.